So, hi, and welcome to the Diablo Podcast, your home for Diablo diehards, tryhards, casual, and hardcore alike. I am your host, Xanth, the prognosticator, the prophet, the seeing eye, it doesn't matter, I'm right, I called it, and I'm joined by two noted crow eaters, my co-hosts, Nineball.
Yeah.
You could just say oh hi. You just say oh hi.
Yeah. Oh hi. I have some issues.
And nerd
there.
words.
Hello.
And we have a shit ton to talk about, and it's going to start with a victory lap. I'm going to take a victory lap just real quick, because we have so much shit to talk about. There's a brand new Diablo expansion. It's coming in April. We got a shadow drop of a class, and then there's so much to unpack about what we found out about the expansion that we just have to talk about it. So front end, we're going to talk about the reveal. We're going to talk about the initial season 11 playthrough, and then we're going to dig into all of the stuff on the back end, the stuff we know less about, and that's the show. But before we, again, get to all that, I want to just, the last time we talked, we were just like, everybody's like, it's probably June. Well, maybe even BlizzCon. Maybe even somebody said never. Somebody said I don't even think it exists. And one brave man stood out in the field when nobody else was there.
March.
And I said
it said March.
And I said March. But you know what? That's closer than never. And
though going back to the whole profit thing, there's
bit of a stretch.
There's being correct and there's being the less wrong. And but there was also a conversation that we had where you had said you had predicted that they were going to shadow drop the entire expansion at the TGAs.
And I was pretty close, really, when you think about it, because like a whole class is an expansion of the classes.
I have the actual conversation here, and I said maybe pre-orders will go live.
No, full thing.
So I mean, you're like half for one, quarter of the other.
Again,
I'm completely right on one, so like 100 versus 75, across like two guesses.
I did say I think June was too late, and it was going to be sooner. So, look, Nineball, I think we just come to a truce. Both of us were one of us was more close, the other one was close, and then somebody was completely off base.
Last I saw, they're probably going to have a merch run for this game, and there will be a hoodie.
Oh, they already have them. I'm
still gonna.
You could get Lord of Hatred.
I'm still gonna get my hoodie. All I said was I won't buy into an expansion until they announce it, because that is what we have done in the past: is get excited about an expansion before it gets announced. But hey, Lord of Hatred, let's get hyped.
I know.
Yeah.
So we've been being told for a long time to pay attention to the Game Awards, and I like to tune into the Game Awards every single year. My son and I will hang out and watch it and just get junk food and what have you. And it's a nice little bonding moment to kind of just talk about like games, like, oh, that looks exciting. I'm interested in this, or I have no idea what that game was or what that is, who that's for. But I was vested this year. Like, we knew to pay attention. So we get like mid-show. Although that first Divinity trailer, oof, that was pretty awesome. Threw me for a loop. I thought it could be Diablo. But we get about halfway through the show. Blizzard starts out with that depiction of Mephisto on the stage. Thoughts on that?
The opening was cringy. The opening was
Yeah.
definitely the fourth wall break of Mephisto. I did not love. And in fact, whenever I tried to share the trailer with people, I tried to find trailers that did not have that part for that exact reason. But I mean, it's the Game Awards. It's all kind of a shill factory. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Keighley and
Right.
Miss Piggy did have sex, so it wasn't as cringy as
I
that.
actually, I thought those bits were less cringy, right? Like, I thought those bits were less cringy than Mephisto talking to the audience. But,
Yeah. Nimble, how'd that play for you?
I watched the trailer afterwards. The TGA stand for everything that is wrong with the video game industry, and I never watch it.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
So you didn't catch Mephisto doing some
I
crowd
I've
work.
heard about it, but yeah,
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Well, you didn't miss much. And I'm sure from the lore aspect of your brain, having Mephisto utter the names Riker and Shroud might not work in the grounded world of Sanctuary. But after that, we do get a trailer, right? And this was the bare minimum. This is what we were expecting to happen. We're gonna get a trailer. And Blizzard doesn't miss, guys. Blizzard doesn't
it's trailers. With
miss. Oh
trailers.
yeah. I mean, come on, trailer.
With how they treat, like, women and their employees and their pay models for games and their roadmaps. Sure. But trailers, man, on lock.
Trailers.
Yeah.
Thank you. That good clarity. You are 100% correct on that.
Quoted front page Google, Xanth from Diablo Podcast says Blizzard does not miss.
I would love to think that you would put me on the front page of Google.
I mean, you are
I
very
wouldn't.
popular.
I wouldn't make Bing. Maybe Yahoo News at this rate.
Hotmail.
AOL.
Is Ask Jeeves busy? Could you ask Jeeves what Xanth thinks about the DGAs and Blizzard? Okay, I digress. So we do get an amazing cinematic. The depiction of Mephisto in it. First, we see his Akarat form, and it gets completely torn asunder by a fucking paladin. And then the actual depiction of Mephisto, the Mephisto that we wanted to see in a little game called Vessel of Patron, that is now fully on display in this trailer, about to go toe to toe with the Paladin. So before we go into the other part of the reveal, right? What were your thoughts on the actual cinematic from like a lore perspective and just like a fan perspective?
I mean, the story trailers never fail to hype. They're always amazing, awesome. Obviously, there's a lot of lore implications. The Paladin is the perfect class to announce alongside Mephisto, given their intertwined history of one another. So it was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, and I think they addressed some, we'll say, gaping plot holes and how there's a paladin right now. Immediately in the season, there's a side quest to do to specifically talk about at least the higher level whys of why they're here and how they're here. So I thought that was cool. They addressed that right away. Yeah, no, I'm with 9. It was trailer was amazing. It just looked so sick. I was really confused at who the guy was, and then I realized it's just Mephisto's, like, human form. There was some yeah. So just a lot to be super excited about. But the biggest thing for me was, okay, like, I got so excited, and when I say excited, I mean we also watched the Game Awards. I work in the retail gaming industry, so it's important to know announcements, things that are coming, things like that too. So our family always watches it as well. And I remember when Mephisto broke the fourth wall, I was like, but then when the trailer kicked in and once it finished, I was so excited. I, like, did a lap around the house. I was so excited. I was very pumped. I didn't catch the other details of the expansion that were in the actual trailer until the next day when I found out there was another class. We know where we're going, like all of that stuff. So I was like, man, this got even better. The trailer was enough to get me hype. The information that followed just built on that for me. So
Yeah. So you hinted there's a lot more to come, but what do we have currently? We go back to kind of the conversation that Macro and I were having, and that was, we didn't get a chance to record at that time, but it was the why would you move a season to coincide with the Game Awards if there isn't something there, right? And I wrongly did postulate the full shadow drop, because to me it did seem to line up, right? But Macro did postulate a little bit in terms of it's a new class, we'll drop the class, and the expansion would be out in March, and we're somewhat right and somewhat wrong in that regard. We get a new class to coincide with the fact that we moved the season up. And I don't know numbers. I do know that I was unable to immediately play the Paladin because BattleNet kept freaking out and not registering codes. That to me sounds like a success. That sounds like a lot of other people felt the same way that we did, where they're like, oh, fuck yeah, Paladin, let's go. Let's do this thing. And BattleNet couldn't register all of the traffic. 9.
yeah.
What was your did you guys both try to get in night 1? But did you have any success?
Yeah. I logged in. What was it? Though it was a little bit later, because it didn't go live until like 11:30, and I had Friday off, so I did log in like 11:45. I was just playing Heroes of the Storm, waiting for the servers to go live, and one of my matches just went a little bit longer, so it was like 11:45, something like that, and I logged in without any problems.
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble either, but I waited till after the Game Awards. Like I finished the full Game Award, presentation stuff, and then once that was over, then I jumped on. And yeah, I didn't have any trouble.
Huh. I did. It took me forever, and there were a lot of people because I kept. We were graciously given codes, so I was trying to get that code to go through, and it kept getting like it will not.
See, that's the I was not. I had to buy it. And it was fine. But I bought it for two of my friends.
That sounds like pay to win,
I bought the
really.
expansion. Might be, but I bought it for two of my friends, and the gifting didn't work. Huh. They were not able to play till the next day.
Yeah.
So there's probably something like that with the store, whereas I was able to buy it and play right away.
Yeah, I didn't. Though I guess maybe it was because I wasn't actually watching the TGAs. So as soon as the codes were available, I requested it, and so I inputted it in right then and there, and had no problems. So yeah.
Well, I'm still going to take it as a sign of success. At least that there's something there that people were not. Now, is that in any way factual, and should that be reported? No, that's just a casual observation. Please, remember, podcast, not real news. But it did strike me as something that I had not encountered in a long time, and I would assume people are pretty hyped, are pretty jazzed. So we've had season 11 at our fingertips for, it is the 16th. We've had it for just a few days now. We've had an opportunity, some of us, to play a Paladin, and to kind of get a tease on this season, which is not the last season before the expansion, which we'll talk about down the road here, but is in the run up to this expansion. How is season 11 treating you two so far?
It's been a lot of fun. I'm probably one of the few people that is not playing a Paladin. I'm going with old reliable, playing the Necromancer. Yeah, it's probably the most fun that I've had since Vessel of Hatred launched. Most of the seasons for me have been meh to okay, but this one is actually like really enjoyable.
I think I want to piggyback off of that because I think you have a great perspective that a lot in season 11 don't. You did not play a paladin, as you said. You've been disappointed with previous seasons. What is it that is making the necromancer feel more enjoyable to you right now? What is the secret sauce?
Is without a doubt it's the changes to the itemization system. The tempering, not having to pray to RNGesus in order to go through and get the proper temper. The masterworking system being a lot more streamlined, and that I'm not trying to fish for multiple crits. I'm just going for the one crit at the end. And then just the joy and the fun of the sanctification system, which I know is the seasonal theme and will be going away afterwards. But like it's not just that, but like the materials, there's no like scarcity. I still run out of materials, but like I can just go through, run a couple of like nightmare dungeons, or infernal hordes, and then I can like fully masterwork like 2 items, or I can like re-roll 1 item a couple of times in order to try and fish for that crit. So it's no longer that I feel as if I'm playing for an hour just to try and like crit something and constantly reset it. Gold has been plentiful. The gear, the drop rates of like the ancestral or the greater affix gear feels a lot better than it has in previous seasons. So it just feels as if that progression of power has just been phenomenally better. It always felt like you would like have like these sticking points where it's just like, well, I can I'm just gonna like try and crit that first crit of rank 4 for the masterworking, and then the rest of it I'm never gonna bother with because I just won't have the time or the ability to farm up all those resources. Now I feel as if I'm engaging with that system a lot more as a more casual player, because I feel as if I'm incentivized to do it. That my time is better rewarding in doing it without having to go like super blaster levels and such. And so that has drawn me in a lot more than it has in previous seasons.
Nice. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, I would.
that's. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, I want to step on your toes. I think I like that perspective. I like being able to hear that because I don't have that yet. I haven't felt the need to dip my toe into a druid. So to know that there is more joy to be found in something that had been, comfortable or been more complacent, and it's not just the shiny new toy, right? It's not just the shiny new thing giving a veneer on a bad season, right? Because that's my big fear is once I step out of the paladin, maybe not feeling that, but I like hearing that from you, Nine Ball. Now, different perspective, because I know you've been playing paladin. In other words, how is the season treating you?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been super fun, and I pretty much agree with everything that Nine said. Um, though I have some trepidation on the other side of it too that makes me a little nervous, but I haven't reached those points yet. I think I did play Paladin. It's the first season I've not started Sork, and I am planning to jump back to Sork for sure. Don't worry for everyone out there. I'm not abandoning my baby. But I made a mistake. When Vessel came out, I didn't touch Spiritborn right away because I was so excited about the changes for the Sork, and I wanted to try the new familiar. Huge letdown. But once I got through that, I was like, okay, I want to try the Spiritborn, and then I just never found the motivation to go back and try it. So this time I was like, you know what? It's a new season. I'm gonna start Paladin, and maybe I only play it to max level and then move on to something else at some point. But I decided to, and man, did I have fun! It's been a blast. I'm playing in a party of all paladins. All 4 of us, all 4 of my normal friends are running paladins. Mind you, my necro friend has a minion necro he's running as well too. He started with that and then pivoted over. But it's been a blast. I leveled as Zeal because I really love Zeal paladins back in the day, so I just went like full fanaticism Zeal build, which plays very differently in Diablo 4, but very fun, very cool. I got a unique. The Red Sermon, which makes it be an AoE, almost like imagine Zeal as a like Nova type spell. It was the dopest leveling experience I've ever had. It was so much fun. So no, very much enjoy it. And now I'm in a party with three other paladins, and we're all playing different builds. I've transitioned into like the more meta like brandish build that's kind of blowing up screens across the board. I've got a friend who's running a pure arbiter build, another one who's running an Oradin, who's like really maximizing holy fire and just kind of like he's actually my minion necro friend who always wants to play minion necro. He wanted to play an Oradin so he could just stand there and let holy fire kill everything, and it's working. It's awesome. Super super fun. And then I've got another friend who's playing a blessed hammer build. Right, we have 4 paladins all playing very different builds, optimized differently, but just really, really cool. I definitely am gonna probably this weekend hit up the Sork though. Like that's my plan was to kind of spend the first week, get to know the season, get to know the Paladin, finish my journey and all that, and then jump into the Sork really with everything kind of already unlocked for me to have some fun. So, but definitely enjoying. I'm nowhere near done with my season. I've probably got plenty of time still to play. Feeling a little more longevity this season.
Well, that is a good thing. I mean, the season itself, normal, 3 months. We have a goblin event starting shortly for Christmas that was just announced today. And then there's also there is something that's happening in between this season and the next season in March that who knows? Who knows what it actually is? But it is on the little roadmap that they have kind of teased. So there's some wheels on this season. It can definitely kind of keep going. I know from my experiences, I was sharing pre-show. I've killed 2 hardcore paladins, not from playing with other people. I wasn't killed from friendly fire, just not being good, which is exciting in some ways. I've spent a lot of times not dying in hardcore recently, and it's not because I'm good. It's because it hasn't been as challenging. So to die while leveling, for me, is exciting and motivating to like keep playing. So I did hit 60 with the Paladin this morning, and then we'll kind of start pushing him upward a little bit later on. But yeah, there's
What build
still
are you using?
It is a Juggernaut, Shield of Retribution, kind of thornsy.
Oh yeah. Very cool build. I played that for a little bit too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Very cool.
I got sucked into a Thorns playstyle in Path of Exile 2 on the last league, so it was nice to like pick that up. And from a hardcore perspective, there's something about like being super tanky and requiring things to hit you. It's like you're kind of living on the edge. Like instead of trying to not get hit, I want to get hit. It's just fun. It's just fun. So that's where I'm at, and there's a lot more yet to do. But let's come back to that. Those are conversations we can have in like 2 or 3 weeks as we start to get a feel for it, because it is still very, very fresh. And like there are more than likely some things that we are going to come up against and be like, oh yeah, it turns out after doing it 200 times it's not as exciting, or it needs some work. Because what we did find out is really this version of the game is going to kind of be no more. I mean, a lot of it will hang on, but there's massive changes just around the corner for Diablo 4. Let's start small scale. There's another class. The Madmans actually did it. There's going to be 2
and we don't know what it is
in an expansion.
We don't know what it is right now.
We don't know what it is. Yeah.
So, all right, first and foremost,
do you think you know what it is?
Yeah.
Is okay. What?
Okay.
Hold on. First, we are going to Scovos. So there is a logical class.
There's no way.
But I don't think
saw the silhouette, right?
Right. We've seen a silhouette. We brought back the Paladin. So is there a different kind of Amazonian that you could bring that isn't a javelin wielding D2 inspired class? Because I think you're right. There is a logic like, oh, it should be an Amazon, but I feel like they dropped the one that we expected, and now it's a new one. That's my theory. I think it's something new. But
I do too. Especially because they put Divine Spear on the Paladin. Like, so your Javazon is on the Paladin.
But they could do something similar. I don't know.
No, they definitely could. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the silhouette made me think of Caster, because the silhouette has a hand held like this, and like spiky thorn bits coming off the shoulders. I don't know. It doesn't look like a silhouette of a Javazon or a Boazon or anything in those regards. But it could be something else from Scovos. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say that, when they were getting ready to tease the Necromancer, the silhouette didn't match the class that they ended up going through and dropping. Yeah, I'm not 100% that the silhouette is going to be indicative of what we get, but yeah, it's like we're going to Scovos. They're releasing a new novel, where the secondary character is an Amazon. It is there's a lot, there that, sure, everything points towards Amazon. There is another thing that they could do, because there is the what is it? The shoot, I forget what they're called, but it's like the sisterhood of the all-seeing eye.
The sightless eye.
The sightless eye, yeah.
Like, even I knew
like,
that.
Akara.
Like, what the crap?
Yeah, like, Akara in Act 1 of D2, it was from, Scovos and such, so it could be like an Oracle class or something like that.
Like a witch. That's what I'm thinking is a witch. Yeah.
I could see
now
witch would make a lot of sense, because if we go back, if you recall from our interview with Deandra, she mentioned that that was a possible class that they kicked around. And that's why they were so well developed in the lore for D4, right? That was a possibility for a class, and it didn't actually come to fruition. There is a lot of groundwork that's been laid for witches in Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Could be. It
would be weird to go to Scovos and get a witch instead, though.
If they were gonna announce an Amazon or something like obviously Scovos related, I feel like they would have announced that already. Because if they wait and announce that in 2 months, that's a huge letdown. Like, I think that, like, if anyone like us that know as much as we do about the Diablo franchise are going to look at Scovos and go, oh yeah, it's an Amazon for sure. So dropping an Amazon feels like too on the nose almost. I don't know. I feel like if they had announced,
they want you to think.
Maybe that's possible. I feel like I hope
nobody does it better than Blizzard.
Yeah. I just feel like it might be something different. But I mean, hell, I'll be happy to play an Amazon too, right? So I don't have any skin in the game. I don't think it's going to be an Amazon, because I think it would be, if they were going to do an Amazon, they would have announced it right now and saved the Paladin for later. Because they dropped the Paladin now, I feel like it's something new. But I don't know. We'll see.
So, I mean, the Paladin was also just the most requested class going into it.
Yeah, true.
And there was like some rumors and discussion that there was like a holy class that was like in development, as you were talking about the witches, that was in development prior to the launch of the game, that kind of like got canned and such, that they had a framework for in order to build off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a fun little speculation. I think it's more surprising that we get to have it, since we got a class. This is Lord of Destruction callback territory of, hey, we don't just give you one, we give you 2 classes. That's awesome. I'm all for it, and we'll see what it ends up being. The small part of me did kind of like maybe just one class and getting it early, because then everybody's going to be starting on the same footing. Like, okay, we all go into the expansion, all the classes have already been introduced, and now maybe there's less FOMO for the new class to like try it out, and you just go into whatever you've been enjoying. But that's a small gripe. Like, that really doesn't matter. I'll still probably play whatever it is, because brand new skill trees. And I think from just the small view that we got
of the Sork.
Yeah.
Of the Sork. Yeah.
That does not look like a twig. That looks more vast with choices
Yep.
and complexities and
Ranks
fun.
to 12 instead of 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot that's happening on that,
Yeah.
and that is something we've been asking for a long time.
Yep.
We don't know all of the details yet in terms of what these actually look like, but this is where I say, like, it feels like it's going to be a brand new game. Vessel didn't feel like it was revamping much of what Diablo 4 did.
Nope.
This feels like a bigger swing. This feels like, okay, we've done this. Now let's build on it. Let's make it better. And I am all for it. So stoked for that. Was you and there's a lot to kind of dig into in terms of like what we're getting. What were your thoughts as you were seeing just this small snippet of these skill trees?
There's one thing missing in that picture.
What's that?
I don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but nowhere in, obviously it's only like 2 nodes that we see. We don't see the whole image, but there's no passives.
Yeah.
It's all like actual like skills, and then passives modifications tied to the skills, but not, there's no like passives that you can see from that image on the tree, which every node, in every skill tree has, in the current iteration, has a passive tied to it.
And you probably spend more points on passives than you do skills in the current.
And they're more impactful than your skills too.
Right. Which maybe if they are gone isn't the worst thing then, because then you're actually doing what you need to, which would be skills in a skill tree. Yeah, I think that's a good observation, Nerwoods.
I mean, I think I mentioned earlier that I did a lap with the trailer. I did another lap when I saw just that snapshot of the Lightning Spear skill tree segment, right? Because you see Lightning Spear, you see 3 different branches, and then multiple branches off of those, all just attached to Lightning Spear. And I was like, bro, like, what is this? This sound. And then they also clipped to like a shot of like an ability changing elements based on what you chose to. So like a fire lightning spear or a cold spear or whatever. So it kind of looked like they were kind of taking the Diablo 3 runes and stretching those into skills and then adding some more stuff to it too. It looks really cool. Because I really liked that aspect of the skill tree. I know people didn't love the drop in, drop out of Diablo 3 skill tree, but the ability to modify your abilities to exactly what you wanted, be it element or otherwise, was really cool. I always loved that about the game. No, I mean, I've been calling for this since pre-game launch, right? Like, I mean, I think the Paragon boards, the affixes. I mean, I've been wanting that shit on a skill tree for the whole time. Like, you took all the fun stuff from the skill tree and you put it on my gear. Give me that power and let me build out something more interesting with my gear. Yeah, I was thoroughly excited, and I feel it right now playing the Paladin. Because the Paladin skill tree currently is not the typical Diablo 4 skill tree. It still has more to it. Every skill has 3 choices instead of 2 off of the end of it. And there's more. And you want to talk about impactful passives. Holy shit at the things they've given the Paladin's skill tree. Their passives are ridiculous, let alone their Paragon nodes and all that stuff. So, yeah, very.
Yeah.
There's one in particular.
All 5. All 5 that I am using are wild. Like, putting anything close to that on my Sork would be ridiculous, but for anyone that's listening, I'm sure you two know what I'm talking about. Go look up the Castle Paragon board and the Castle Legendary node. It is wild. It is not capped. It scales your offense with your defense. The more defense you have, the more offense you have, and there's no negative to it. It's a wild strategy, but it's been really fun to play with.
Enjoy it for the season, because it will not.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone. There's no way they keep it. Yeah, or they're gonna cap it.
Yeah, it won't make the end.
Unless everyone else gets something similar.
Yeah,
right. Which is the other theory, is that this is The theory that I've seen is that this is the skill tree before the expansion. Like they kind of had to do a skill tree to temporarily hold us over until we get to the expansion, to where they can expand it more, and it would make more sense. Which explains a little bit of why the Paladin feels so good right now too, because they're just not as limited as some of the rest of the classes.
Yeah, I think
As some.
I think it
Yeah.
would be
Any of them.
interesting to see like how did this Paladin skill tree come to exist? Because you are right, it does have those pieces that aren't present in other skill trees.
Yeah.
But it does not look nearly as vast as what we're seeing from the skill trees that we're going to get in terms of the new expansion. So it's like, how does this version exist? Really, is this something that was from a year ago, 2 years ago, when the Paladin was first developed, and you've got the fancy new one that you're holding on to that came together 6 months ago or something? Or was this something that you had to slap together to do the shadow drop? Or like I want that story. I'm super curious. And if anybody out there gets that interview, ask that question. Like, how did this skill tree come to be, and how did it transpire? What we don't hear about is Paragon. We do get new skill trees. One of our big complaints over the past few years has been the Paragon system. It doesn't seem like that's changing. Like we just don't have any information about it.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned Paragon at all.
Right. I imagine it's still there. You don't get rid of that. But that might be something down the road, maybe. Obviously, as we get closer, somebody should ask that question. But as far as we know, it seems like Paragon is still the system. And that still means 250 clicks. It's a lot. It's too much. But you know what? This isn't a day for complaints. It's a day for joy. It's a day for joy. And
it's the day for joy.
there's a lot to be joyful about. New skill trees. And then what was that? Is that our old friend? It is. It's the Heraldric Cube. It's the Heraldric Cube. We can cube things again. I don't know what we're cubing. I don't know how we're cubing it. But I'm all for it. What do you think the cube's going to do?
Crafting?
No idea. No idea. I hesitate because runes, and then what runes are.
Yeah,
Mind you,
that's
I actually
the other
like
part.
runes as they are. I want to say I like runes as they are, because they're not overpowered rune words that you have to have, right? You don't have the enigmas, you don't have the infinities, right? They're strong, and you can make some strong combos, but they're fine. So is the cube some sort of bastardization of the cube, or is it a 1-to-1 from Diablo 2? We'll have to see. I am tempering my expectations.
I mean, for me specifically, it's the Heraldric Cube, not Kanai's Cube.
Yeah.
So the Heraldric Cube was just a crafting system. It was just player-based crafting system for somewhat deterministic outcomes. And so that's just, I don't know what else it could be besides that.
I also like to use it as extra storage from time to time. Like, oh crap, I'm just gonna toss like 10 things in here real quick, and we should be okay.
Or you can get to where you were in Diablo 2, where you have nothing but the Heraldric Cube as your storage, and your whole inventory is filled.
Right. I'm just happy to see if there is crafting of some sort.
Would you not argue that our current item system is crafting?
Our current...
With the way that you tempered at an affix, and then you masterwork to boost those affixes, and then you can sanctify them to get wild rolls in those affixes, and then, I mean, there's the journey of an item in Diablo 4 is way more profound than any Diablo game before it.
I think it's the crafting as it exists now is still pretty linear, right? As opposed to like being able to create something with a more of a random outcome that could be great or it could be awful. and like try to bootstrap your way with a few items through that, like being able to use the cube as that kind of initial starting point and maybe an ending point depending on what like recipes are out there. But I think like having that would be fun. And then then add it into that linear system, with a few forks along the way. But I think I would argue crafting now is still a little bit more streamlined than what it used to be.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that.
But it's still better than what it was at launch, right?
Yeah,
considerably.
We could do way more things now, and I like the sanctification layer layer.
A lot of the fun I've found in this season has been taking an item from start to finish, right? That has been the journey that especially with sanctification, because that goes, okay, so I can sanctify this thing, but before I do that, I got to make sure I've got a max affix on it. I've got to make sure that I've tempered it. I've got to make sure I've masterworked it all the way, because I made the mistake of getting a god tier item, rolling all the stuff, whatever, and I didn't have the max legendary affix on it. It was like a mid affix, and I was like, sanctified. Oh shit, I can't change that now. So I've had those moments, but I've really enjoyed the item journey in season 4 or in season 11 so far. So that's why I was curious about that.
I actually bricked an item earlier today.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm playing Sever, and I sanctified an amulet, and it added the legendary affix that gives Sever a cooldown.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
yeah,
are you
tough.
when you're going into sanctification, are you going in with a backup just in case of that?
I didn't before.
Full send. No, full send.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? No,
Yeah.
we're bricking builds out here. I'm doing the same thing.
I knew that it wasn't like a god amulet or anything like that. It was just decent enough. But I knew that there's a chance that it can replace in one of the affixes, so I could lose my ranks in Coalesce Blood, for something with something crap, whatever. I was not expecting that freaking Sever affix, that turns it into a teleport, but gives it a cooldown. It's just like that. Yeah, that's fucking terrible. So then I thankfully had some obols, and I went and gambled an amulet because it was just better. Having a crap amulet was just better. And I found something comparable, now, but it was definitely one of those ones where it's like, oh, that is like 10 times worse than I could possibly have even thought that it would be,
Yeah. Well, you live, you learn. It's still, day 4 at this point. So
yeah,
plenty of time to brick a few more along the way. In tandem with the cube, I heard a word. I heard a word that I thought we wouldn't hear ever again. Well, at least not initially. It's not talisman, but it's related to talisman. Gentlemen, do you know what that word is? Set. I heard the word set. And I didn't hate it, right? I didn't hate it. We're getting this new system that will operate somewhat like sets. To what extent, we don't fully know. But sets are coming back in some way with this talisman. Sets were a dirty word as Diablo 4 was launching. Sets were a mainstay of Diablo 3 and were, a part of Diablo 2, depending on what you were going for, being more valuable than others, but usually not the best. What are your thoughts on some version of sets returning to Diablo 4?
So the talisman was actually a canceled feature from Diablo 3, and that was going to be Diablo 3's version of charms. That you would get charms that would have stats that you would slot into it and give you bonuses. Now, that obviously never ended up getting launched, and so I wonder that if this version of the talisman is going to be anything like that, and is also going to be reintroducing a form of charms. And so you put in XYZ charms in order to get certain set bonuses that will just give you a bonus of some sort to your character, and that there'll be something that supports, different skills or maybe different play styles. We have no idea what it will do, but I imagine it's going to be some sort of itemization system, like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see how it's implemented. I'm not scared of it. I'm not angered by it. I'm not afraid of it. I want to see what they're cooking on, right? See what they got, because it seems like what their sets are is something very different. Um, it seems more like charms, um, but in a kind of a different system. Um, I don't know. So we'll see. If it ends up being set pieces that we just replace all over here and that's it, then okay, cool. But is there an end game build that isn't using Air of Perdition and Shot of False Death right now? Are those not the same as having a set, right? Like as a sorceress player, like I have the same skills every season. I just change out which one's doing most damage. Is it Ball Lightning this season, or is it Lightning Spear, or is it Crackling Energy that's doing my damage? So it doesn't matter, right? I still have Flame Armor. So sets limited the build creativity, I think, in a lot of regards for people, and kind of just told you here's what you play because here's what all the bonuses to your stuff is. I think that we're doing that a lot of the time anyways now. So I'll see. We'll see. I think if it's sets that add on to what we're doing currently and doesn't replace what we're doing currently, then it could be really cool and really fun and a fun way to engage with. But if it ends up, every Paladin's wearing the same set because it's just the best meta set for the season, that's going to get pretty boring pretty fast.
Yeah, I would hope that whatever this implementation of sets is that maybe it's more static and less season changing, right? That we're gonna drop these in. They're more class agnostic. They don't have to be the Paladin set. They don't have to be that. And
I believe the term class defining customization was used.
Yeah.
Hmm. Man, I really hope for class agnostic. Maybe by class defining, it allows you to define the class within the parameters. Look,
sure.
we can deal with semantics
legit.
all day. It's all PR mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I mean, if it is its own completely new itemization system that is removed, like the little mock-up photo is like little talisman, and it's got the 6 little slots to put the rune type looking things in there. That in order to create a set bonus, you have to put in those specific things, and then your darkness damage increases, or your sever damage increases, or your minions attack twice, or something along those lines. That would be cool. Because imagine like Diablo 3, Kanai's cube is what gave you your set bonus instead of your gear. So that way you could equip any pieces or any gear that you wanted to, and it didn't impact what set bonuses you had. So it's just it's additional, like thinking of it as like just an additional layer. I can equip any gear that I want, and then I get to pick any set bonus I want at the same time. At least that's what I'm kind of like picking up from it.
Not opposed to it. Again, my big hope is just that we don't have to introduce new talisman sets every season, right? Don't do that. Let's just not do that. Let's just hey, these are the sets. Hopefully there's no 10,000% damage multipliers, and then
that's
cool.
what the Paladin Paragon builds.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why would you not use that? But
so wild.
Get in while the getting's good, because it's not going to stay that way. At least it shouldn't. Okay. So we got talismans. We've got sets. We've got new skill trees. We've got a new unannounced class, plus the class we get to play now. We have a whole new area to explore. We will be fighting Mephisto. Right? Right? Right?
We thought we were in Vessel. We'll see. I assume
right.
so.
I just
I feel like you're the Anakin meme right now.
just-
We're gonna fight Mephisto, right? Right?
Right?
right. God, I hope so. And that's not all. We also got somebody feel free to correct me on this. Is it battle orders, battle plans? I'm tripping on this one.
War plans.
War plans, that's it. We got a little idea of a end game becoming a little bit more specialized. At the moment, you kind of just hop around, right? Like, oh, is Helltide up? I'll go there. Have I done all my quests in Helltide? Maybe I'll go this. What's my materials, situation looking like? Do I have enough for bosses? I'll go do that. And you can kind of limp around and you can find the fun all over the place. But there is kind of that need for like a clear direction, and it seems like this is an opportunity for that. In Path of Exile, you have an atlas. You have this massive mapping system, and you have a tree to specialize in the content that you want to. There are parts of Path of Exile that some people absolutely love, and they want to have that every time they are doing their maps. And there are parts that they absolutely hate, where there's like, I don't want to ever see a breach again. I don't ever want to see abyss. So I'm going to specialize into this to make my end game all of that. Seems like this is an opportunity to kind of do that, of like, hey, you really like Helltide. What if we just found a way to make that better? And we've seen that bits and pieces when we had those optional ways to increase the level difficulty in Helltide, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty,
Pages.
yeah, that was well received.
Even the current seasonal theme allows you to customize your rewards a little bit.
Right. I think having those things adds more legs to a season, right? That when you can keep going back and doing the things you like, you're more incentivized to, one, keep doing them, but then also try a different class with it. Like, oh man, I can't wait to see what a Sork will do with this new system, because I know I'm going to get to it. I'm not going to have to grind out, more boss mats to get to X, Y, and Z for this character. I'm going to just get to go and do the thing I like. What were your reactions to that? I'm kind of just going off on a tangent here.
I mean, it all comes down on to like what a high value reward actually entails. Is it something like you were mentioning with Path of Exile? Can I replace farming the pit to level my glyphs with the system, or am I still going to be forced, into the pit to level glyphs? Because that's actually one thing that I'm having fun doing. Everything else in the game right now, I don't even have all of my glyphs at 15 yet, because I've spent the only times that I've gone into the pit is just to unlock the higher torment levels, and that's it. That's been it. And so I've been suffering there, and now my damage is beginning to fall off. I just dipped my toes into Torment 4, and so now I have a couple hours of the pit in front of me, and it is not looking forward to it quite as much as just been having fun doing other stuff. So everything that you just said, I do enjoy. I like. I wish that it is that. Will it be that? Who knows? Could it be? It's like they changed the seasonal progression system, and now you can go from chapter to chapter to chapter without doing like any of the in between chapters. You literally just have to do the torment level and then the capstone, which is fun. But then you kind of like have to be like, oh well, I need to go back because I'm missing a skill point, or I'm missing an ash, or I need to get some more paragon points. Is this something that they could, would the war plans be something that replaces that? Makes it more streamlined, so that way you get to choose your rewards to what you get to do to unlock your skill points. because maybe you don't want to go back and farm Helltide affixes or something like that just to get a skill point that you're missing, and then the war plans might give you something that you can choose what it is that you do to get that instead.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Nine on this. I don't know. We'll see. I played Path of Exile and I hated that system a lot. I thought it was stupid. And I personally I think that exists right now in Diablo 4 with the way that you mentioned, Nine, how the season journey is, right? The season journey has you go do different activities to pick them up. And the idea of being like, nah, I'm just going to do Nightmare Dungeons and that's all I ever want to do ever just feels like not the answer that Diablo 4 needs. So I just don't. I mean, the freedom to do it on your own, I suppose so, but we'll have to see. I don't love the way it plays out in Path of Exile. I like anything that takes my character and gives me a different context to view that character is awesome. So I like seeing the barbarian step up to the table and look at it. I thought that was cool. I thought the art was cool for it. It's a very small thing. I'm not overly joyed by it or worried about it. It's kind of a wait and see situation. But I personally, I like Undercity, I like the Pit, I like Helltide, I like all these different things, and I find the fun in Diablo 4 is doing little amounts of all of them. If I do any of them for too long, if I'm in the Helltide for more than one full session, because it lasts 55 minutes, if I do a Helltide for 55 minutes, about 30 minutes in, I'm done. I'm good. I've gotten every chest. I don't really need anything else. The Pit, I can only run for so long before my eyes and ears start to bleed. So I like to mix it up. I like to change what I'm doing. If that helps that, great. If it hinders that, then that's not great. So we'll just have to kind of see.
Yeah, I think I'm optimistic to seeing changes, right? For them to kind of take a pass and okay, we have all of these things. I think for me, the biggest thing is the lack of connectivity between everything. It all feels so disjointed. And that as you kind of said, I'll hop from here to here to here, but there's less of a cohesion of all of those things. They all feel like they are their own little thing. If there is a way to kind of to build off of that, maybe war plans are an option along the way. Maybe there are ways to trade in your Curest Undercity keys for boss mats or vice versa as you're going through, and so it makes that transition easier, because sometimes that is the other sticking part of oh yeah, I would love to maybe do a nice Undercity run, but all the Undercity keys I have are garbage and I don't care about the rewards. Maybe that would be a cool thing of okay, now when I do my Helltides, I'm guaranteed on each chest to get an Undercity key. Even if it's trash, I have a way of generating them. So then when I go to Undercity and I'm selecting Undercity, now I've got the option to get Nightmare Dungeon sigils that have 2 or 3 affixes or whatever it might be that are more enticing. Oh, now I'm playing this so that I can go and try and do other things along the way, and man, that makes everything more fun when you have that extra little push of I already enjoy it, but it's also getting me to do other things I want to enjoy.
I just want to say something real quick, that you mentioned the Nightmare Dungeons. This is the first season that I have ever actually cared and got excited looking at a Nightmare Dungeon sigil, ever, period, ever. It's just the one where you have the all the treasure goblins spawning, or that guarantees greater affixes off of every single elite in the dungeon.
So good.
They made
so
Nightmare
good.
Dungeons fun.
They're badass,
Me a year ago was Nightmare Dungeons are terrible. You'll never convince me to do them. And now here I am, looking at them. It's oh shit, I get to kill goblins. Yeah, sign me up. So.
And you can just chain them. You can just keep going.
Yeah.
Right. It's they're so much better. Yep, I'm with you. I was hating hard on Nightmare Dungeons, and now it might be my preferred content.
I want to.
I still don't enjoy it, but I'm actually gaining experience doing layer bosses. It's I had to go through. I had 200 living steels, and I just wanted to go through and chain that in order to try and get a greater affix on the Greaves of the Empty Tomb, and I gained 7 or 8 levels doing it. It's just wow, this was actually I don't feel as if I'm wasting my time. I didn't get the boots that I was looking for.
Of course.
But hey,
Of course.
I got something out of
something.
it, you know, for once. So yeah.
Wow. That's I like the caveat there. Well, I didn't enjoy myself, but it wasn't awful.
It wasn't awful. You know, we're getting there.
I will say, I think this whole conversation is just making me more excited to play more Diablo. And there have been times where we have had these podcasts and it doesn't have the same feel where you're just like, yeah, I'm really bummed about, like, we've had seasons where it's been 4 or 5 days later we're just like, yeah, I'm kind of done. I'm bummed. And like there isn't that drive. It's always early and there is still a lot of hype and it's still a lot of unknown. But the combination of this season, the new class, and then what we can finally see on the horizon, it feels like we're kind of back, boys. Like we're back. Like things are moving, and I don't want to again get too far ahead of myself because there is a chance at disappointment, but I think we're moving in like a really cool direction. And I'm 100% all for it. Like we weren't going anywhere, right? But man, it feels good to like stick through bad times so that you can just really appreciate the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. The season's been super fun, and I'm ready for I'm honestly shocked at how close they're dropping Diablo 4 to the WoW Midnight expansion. Like, WoW Midnight's March 2nd, right? Like, I mean, it's still a month and a half later, or well, almost 2 months later. But it's just it's gonna be a really fun first half of 2026. I will say they did pick the wrong time to have this good of a season because it's Christmas and it's hell for me. So my playtime is small, and that's what. Yeah, yours too. It's not. This was not the time to hit your stride, Diablo. You could have waited till January 1st and then hit that stride. Now it would have been hype. But now I'm like just thinking about Diablo at work, which is not conducive to a good work-life balance.
No.
Yeah, hey, we've got something coming in February.
Yeah. And the tower at some point.
Yeah.
Which is the beginning of January?
January
12th. Like the 10th, 12th? Yeah.
Okay, we have a date. I didn't know we had a date. Okay.
Yeah. Macro and I talked about this last time. I don't really care about the tower. It's great that it's there. I'm not incentivized. I think honestly dropping it January 12th is a great time midway through a season where I'm just like, yeah, I'll play with it, but I'm not like I don't care. Until there's like that solo self-found mode. Until there is a way to make sure that it is the grouping of people who is RMTing has their own ladder, and then there's a grouping of people where it is legitimate. And without that, then like I don't really care. But we do have a lot of shit that's happening, and it feels real good. Now I want to go back on a previous statement that I just made about being there for the bad times. That is not an indictment to stay in any form of an abusive relationship. Like that is not what this is. What I'm saying is, sometimes like you go through and things aren't great, but you get through it stronger together, right? There's no harm on either side. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, I can see clearly now.
Demon's gone.
I can see all the obstacles in my way. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to do this.
You already did it.
Gone are the dark clouds that end.
He already done it.
It's going to be a bright, sunshiny day. That's off the dome. Why is that still stuck in my head so many years later? It's catchy. Okay, gentlemen, it is always fun to get together and chat Diablo. It is even better when spirits are high, a season is hitting, a new class is dropped, and we have an expansion to look forward to. And hey, who knows? We might even get a cow level. But until then, we're not talking about that yet. Until then, we'll close it out as we always.
We didn't even mention fishing.
No fishing.
There's not enough time in the world to talk about all the Diablo. We're eating good, team. We're eating good.
Loot
filters? Loot filter. We will come back. We're going to come back. We'll do another podcast, not immediately following this one. We will do another one.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Right. It's getting late. So we'll come back and we'll do another podcast because there's still more to talk about. And I would imagine we'll get a little bit of news between now and then. So in the meantime, let's close it out as we always do with a moo, moo, moo.
Moo, 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 moo.
Moo, moo, motherfuckers.